Good afternoon. It's 1-ish on Monday, so you know what time it is. It's time for Dream Do Done, from process to progress, with your favorite girls every Monday afternoon, 1-ish Eastern Standard Time. The how-to coach, Tamara Hartley, the Pulpit Chic, Serena Brown Travis, and myself, Dr. Stacie Grant, Chief Faithpreneur. So welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us today and being a part of our community. Like, we're going on almost 2 full years with you. So we appreciate the fact that you've been tuning in. You've been connecting with us on our website. You've been a part of the conversations. You've even shared your testimonies as to the information that we shared that moved you to action. We know you have a lot of dreams, but we need you to start doing so you can get them done. So welcome. I'll turn it over to my co-host so that they can greet you. And thank you last week. I could just wave. I couldn't talk. But I appreciate that you were still sending your love to me, because I was determined to be on. But, the telecommunication gods didn't work with me.
No, that was epic. So hello, everyone. I hope you all had a great week. It's been so busy, so much going on. I know everyone has a lot going on. I just want to say it's been a great week for me. I've gotten a lot of things done. This Dream Do Done, this accountability that happens every Monday, it forces everybody to check yourself come Thursday. Like, did I do what I was supposed to do? So I hope it's doing the same for you. But it's been a great week. Glad to be here today.
Indeed. Listen, your laugh just gave me life, honey. That's hilarious. But at any rate, hello, ladies and gentlemen. We have an exciting week upon us. We have an exciting show. And I had a wonderful, just laid back weekend. Yesterday, as we know, something that Stacie failed to mention, yesterday started the first month of November. And it's November.
I was leaving that for you to tell us all about.
No, you gotta do it. You always make it sound so much better. So yes, it is the first Monday in November, but it is also my birthday month. I'm so great. I know. I am so grateful. I will be 40. Now it's going to be on Friday the 13th, so I'm not going anywhere. I'm just excited to turn 40.
Well, look, you don't look a day over 20, so 40 is the new 20.
I appreciate
it. Welcome in advance to the 40 Club, but we'll be celebrating all month long. I mean, for me, my turn up got turned down because I was upset that I couldn't continue, so I might have to infringe a couple of days on the Scorpio.
It's all good. I welcome it. I mean, listen, if in 10 years I can still look like you, we're good. So I welcome it. That way I keep all positive vibes.
And I hope you all are this as excited when I make it to the 40 Club.
Look, here go my come on survey.
When
I make it there, I want to look as good as you two.
Stacie, where's the sound effects? Come on, we need the wah. I
mean, she has some. Thanks, Serena.
Yeah, look, thank you for that one. I had to remember talking about the 40 Club. You in the 30 Club? Okay, we'll let you dream for today. Dream too done.
Oh, dream too done.
But yes, it is the month of November. I really can't believe that we're in November already. I'm like, whoa. When November kicks in, it's one thing when the fourth quarter starts, right? With the beautiful month of October. But November, it's like, it's getting serious. Like, you're coming down to the wire, God spare your life. And Thanksgiving, I'm smelling pumpkin spices in my head every day. Like, wait, we are really about to close out 2020. So to think that we have journeyed through this very interesting year, my mother keeps saying, it's because it's a leap year. This leap year thing is crazy. So, I don't know if it's because it's leap year. Hey, Patricia, thanks for joining. I don't know what it is, but we have gone through quite a bit in 2020, and we thank you for being here and that we could be of service to you and add value to your thought process and be your accountability partners every single Monday, because we only get one chance at this life. Every day is a gift. We've shared our ups and our downs. We've had losses. We have dealt with watching friends or associates who have had challenges financially. People are furloughed. It's been a lot going on, but we still have hope. And the three of us believe in the hope of tomorrow. And tomorrow literally will affect what this country looks like for the next 4 years. And we hope that at this point, many of you took advantage of early voting. If you didn't take advantage of early voting, that you at least plan to vote tomorrow. Like, particularly for those of us, people of color, Black and brown people, folks died and sacrificed so that we could exercise the right to vote. So let's not take that for granted. For women, there was a sacrifice for women to vote. So there are many different levels on what we should be focusing on. And it's not just who's going to occupy 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. That's one part of it. But there's so much more on the ballot. We're going to talk about some of those things. What are your interests? What are the things that you're concerned about? That's why you need to vote. I'm so frustrated when I talk to folks and they're like, oh, I can't be bothered. Oh, you know, the Electoral College got it fixed anyway. Oh, I'm not. What? Like, we still need to vote. Like, I don't even understand it. What are you all experiencing? And then I'm going to bring up a great website that people can go to, not only to get information on their plan for tomorrow, but we're going to talk about what is on the ballot. You need to be aware of who we're putting in office that are representing us in Congress, right? Who's representing us on the Hill. This is important. Yeah. So one part is who's going to occupy the highest office in the land, but there are so many other things that are going on that affects you as parents, that affects you as business owners, that affects you as homeowners. So this is so important, but yeah, I've said my
But you said something really key. And now I know last week you all heard me sit on my soapbox that I was actually going to the polls because, you know, I didn't trust doing the early voting or provisional ballots or absentee ballots. I'm one of those. Yes, I am. But I actually went early. So I voted over the weekend. And one of the things, you know, just what Stacie is talking about, I knew that it was bigger than just the presidential election. And I've been so bogged down with so many different things. I got a college student home. I got a kid that's going to school twice a week. I have so much going on in my personal world that I really hadn't been up on all the issues going on around me. So I had to do some research before I went to the polls. And you know how they send the flyers in the mail of different things that's going on? I read everything. And some of that stuff I usually toss because I'm usually up on stuff. So I don't need that. No, I was looking for where's my mailer? Where's my stuff? What's going on with this? And then I just did some research. So if you are not up on what's going on and you don't know the specifics in your local area, go to your Board of Elections and look at every single thing. I think also the Secretary of State, there's different places in your area that you can look stuff up. And these websites that Stacie's going to share today, it's talking about across the country. And if it's specific to your state, that's great. But make sure you do your research because I did not want to just go and do the presidential election and then just hit buttons for the rest of the stuff, because that local stuff is what affects us right here at home. And we got to be aware of that because that is super important. And you don't want to just go through the motions of voting. You want to make sure that your voice is being heard. One of my friends released a video that I shared on my Facebook page, but it talks about how we're treated in the streets is a direct reflection of who we put in the office around us. And that is so very true. And so I really had to do my research and I did go out and vote. But one of the reasons I did decide to go early is because I wanted to avoid a lot of different things. But then I also wanted to go with my daughter. I told y'all this is her first time voting in a presidential election, voting at all. And I wanted to go to the polls with her and like really just focus on what she's doing and help her through that. So that's why I went early. But I did. It was 19 minutes from start to finish. I know there's some horror stories out there. Now, when I got there, that line was wrapped and I was like, oh my goodness. And I had just done my hair. So it was a little bit wet. It was breezy in Ohio. I was like, I'm going to the polls anyway. But I was only out there 19 minutes and I got to exercise my right to vote.
Awesome. I think I was 20. That's good. What about you, Serena? And before Serena talks, hey, Stephen, he said, hey, it's one-ish.
I love how people help us build our brand.
Right. We have to get our shirts. Tamara, you got to get on top of our shirts.
I do.
So I will say, first of all, Tamara, impressive that you were able to get in and out within 19 minutes. Thankfully, I live in an area that it's not going to be that busy at all. So I'm actually going tomorrow, 6:30 a.m. And I'm excited because my husband, who usually rolls over at 10 a.m., even said, baby, 6:30 a.m. right? And I'm like, yes, like that is really sweet. So he's like, all right, I'm gonna get our coffee and a hot chocolate and everything. And I'm ready to have my sleeping bag and chair and all of that out there. And so some of the things that I'm concerned about, obviously the presidential election, but as Tamara mentioned, whatever happens on the streets, I mean, I love that quote that you used, is how we're treated. So thankfully, we have a lot of judges who are minority judges and female judges. I'm so excited to put my support behind them. They support a lot of the same initiatives. They come into the restaurant, so that's already a plus. And so, but beyond that, one of the things that I watched over the weekend that was pretty disturbing, it was talking about the trends that's happening, not just within politics, but all the way around us. And it talked about the truth. And it talked about how the truth is being distorted, how no one knows what's true anymore. And back when we were younger, we had maybe 3 outlets total of where we would get our information from. And you can go from ABC to NBC to CBS. We had Fox News and I think WOSU, PBS. And you could just compare what was going on. But now, unfortunately, we have so many other sites that's putting out misinformation and really, really, bad stats and all that. And so the lady talked about how if we could all collectively try to decide on candidates who are about truth, not conspiracy theories, not just outlandish thought, but people who still remember that who God is and make sure that they operate with a sense of integrity. And so my whole purpose, my whole thing now is to vote for truth. I am all about truth. And so then I thought about, wait a minute, if I'm voting for truth, what have lies done to me? So I also look at, what has not living in my truth, how detrimental it has been to me in my life. And so because of my accountability partners on this Monday call, I have now been able to walk in my truth and to figure out what was working for me, what was not working for me. So that's my vote. I'm voting for truth. Truth and integrity.
Proud to the truth. And hey, Stephen remind us, yes, local judges, state and citywide officials, that's what's on the ballot. It's not just the presidential election.
Absolutely.
He said, what's up, my brother? Appreciate you. And Stephen said he was in and out in 10 minutes. Yeah, I was on the line and it moved so fast. I think mine might have really been like 10, 15 minutes because I was calling my husband like, I think I need my coat. I'm going to be out here for a minute. I was trying to be cute and healthy. And I was like, whoa, that little breeze just got my midsection. So, but he didn't have to come. I was able to get in and out. And hey, Craig, how you doing, Fred? He said, happy Black Solidarity Day. Thank you, my brother. Same to you. And hey, Ladrine, thank you for tuning in as well. We appreciate you all being here. So let's get to what else is on the ballot, right? We were talking about the fact that it's not just the presidential election, which of course is major. It's going to affect where we go as a country and the economy. But there's information out there that we want you to be aware of. Because a lot of times people go in and I'm laughing because I'm thinking about my elders in my family who try to call me. I'm like, we can't have these conversations when you're in there.
No.
Who this finding that? They said enough judges. I'm like, Jesus Christ. You got to know that stuff before you go in. You cannot call me from the phone. Like, that's not going to work. We have to do a review so you're familiar with who the judges are that are being elected, who your congressperson is, who your assembly person is. And depending on where you live across the country, there are different names for the local municipalities and their positions. But everybody has elected offices that this November 3rd is going to affect, and you have to know who is up for election. So do your due diligence. Like Tamara said, you're going to go and research who are these people? What's their stats? What's their record? Are you just voting with them because they're a part of the party that you affiliate with, or you're voting for them because they've actually effectuated change in your community, right? Ladrine said you got to give them a cheat sheet. Yeah, Ladrine.
Hey, look, that cheat sheet. It paid off this time because I needed to know.
I'm gonna make sure. And I did it one time before, but I was like, everybody got the hang of it. But child, you know what I get? I'll do this. I'm like, shh, you cannot call. You can't do it.
No, in some states, Ohio may even be included. If you get caught with a cell phone, your vote is invalid. Like some states don't play like that about having technology behind. When those curtains close, that's it.
That's it. It's a wrap. So yeah, we got to do the cheat sheet. But marijuana legalization is still a hot button on a lot of the propositions that are being proposed. We have Arizona, Montana, New Jersey, South Dakota, Mississippi. So, there are things on the ballot that you need to be aware of because those propositions are usually on the back and people either forget to fill them out. And sometimes these propositions win with a handful of votes because people were just aware to vote. So you need to know what those look like. There's also ballot amendments going on in Alaska, Massachusetts, Florida, Mississippi, Alabama, California. And that's a major one in California. It will restore voting rights to persons who have been disqualified from voting while serving a state or federal prison term on completion of their prison term. So there are things that you really need to be aware of that are happening in your state. Racial reckoning. Mississippi has a big one on their flag. Rhode Island is the same thing. Everyone now is trying to be conscious of the fact that it took 400 years to realize that Black Lives Matter, and they're doing things on the ballot that will speak to that. Abortion is on the ballot in Colorado and Louisiana, criminal justice in Oklahoma, Kentucky, California, statehood. Puerto Rico is still trying to see if they can become the 51st state. That is on the ballot. The propositions around ride sharing. So those are just a few of the things that particular article was highlighting as things that are on the ballot. So remember, Election Day is not just for the highest office in the land. It's for your local municipalities. It's for your local elected officials. It's for judges. It's for propositions that can change the way that you are functioning. Like, we cannot afford to sit this one out. I was just talking to a friend yesterday in the barbershop that are limitedly, not everyone can go in. New York still has restrictions, but in the barbershop, like, oh, no, I'm not voting. What? Like, this is not the election to sit out and say that you're not voting. We don't have that option or that luxury. We really have to be clear that there is more at stake this year than ever before, and we need to go out and vote. This is another site.
And just real quick on that, a lot of times when you look at some of the issues, even though you might see one issue at the top, when you keep going, those commercials that try to go through everything really fast about the other little things that's a part of that, like read the whole entire thing, because on one hand, it might be proposing this, but then it talks about the repercussions of it, all the little quirks about it. Like, that stuff is super important. You can't just go on the headlines. You can't just skim it. You got to know what you're actually looking at, because addendum 1, 2, 3, and 4 could mean something completely different for you. And you may have thought you voted yes, but then you also voted yes for these things as well. So you really have to read that stuff, because that stuff is very, very serious. You just read the title, but you didn't read everything that was really coming along with what you said yes to. So that's super important.
Absolutely. And this website, whenweallvote.org, not only does it have resources to help you figure out what your plan is, it also has education. And I'm going to pull up a different image that really talks about the Electoral College. Woo-wee. We know that is something that we just don't like.
For all of y'all that took Principles of Democracy in high school, you remember this or you don't remember? That was our class, right? The Principles of Democracy.
That was.
And understand, people are like, well, why does it matter? Why should I vote? Because the Electoral College is just going to mess us up anyway. I thought this was something great that site that I just shared reminded everyone about. Don't forget that the Electoral College only votes for president and vice president. There are still state and local elections that are decided by the popular vote. That, to me, was one of the key pieces of information that I saw come out of this particular website, so people don't get discouraged by the Electoral College. Now, we can talk all day about how that needs to shift or change in this new age and stage where we are, but people need to be reminded that their vote counts. Yes, we know what it's going to do to the presidential and vice presidential candidate, but popular vote is still going to rule for these other elections. So this is serious, right? We cannot at all be quiet and take for granted what we think will happen tomorrow. That's why we're dedicating our show today to making sure that you voted. So everybody who's watching, did you vote? Stephen already told us he voted. So if you voted, let's see a thumbs up in the chat if you voted early. If you have your plan to vote for tomorrow, let's see a thumbs up, because everything that we talk about on the show is particularly around our business development and the things that we're doing as entrepreneurs, as mothers, as wives. It's affected by who's sitting in office, who's going to make sure funding happens for small businesses and MWBEs, who's going to vote in favor of getting an education and free education for our children, who's going to vote for the infrastructure that needs to happen in our particular states, and who's going to be representing us in Congress for the things that are necessary. Ladrine says she voted. All right, that's what I'm talking about. So we want to make sure that not only do you have your plan, but who in your neighborhood can you support? We did phone banking. We're helping the seniors in the area who it might be difficult. It warms my heart. And you all know that I'm like a big sap and crybaby. Like, I finally got a chance to get a little rest yesterday. So y'all already know what I did. I curled up watching Hallmark and crying for every movie. My husband was like, could I just send somebody a letter so you can go act on one of these Hallmark shows?
And I've been seeing some really great stories about all the people who are helping during this election time. I've seen a lot of fraternities and sororities and alumni associations getting out, providing seats for seniors and people who might need to sit down while they're waiting in line, providing water and snacks. So just kudos to everyone who is out here. One of the things that I noticed, everyone is a little bit tentative about going out, with all this COVID. But when I actually went to the actual voting station, social distance was in place. When you went in, they gave you this little marker. I mean, even when you signed your name, they had dirty pens, clean pens. So you use a sanitized pen, put your pen in a dirty cup so it could be sanitized before anyone else used it. Then they gave you a little thing to actually do your voting. So you didn't even have to touch the screen and use your finger. So protocols are in place to be safe and as safe as you can possibly be. So if you're worried about that, the fact that people are out there handing out water and snacks, and just like being just so attentive to the people who might have needed extra care, our elders standing in line. I just really thought people are really doing their part to come together for these elections. So I really like that I saw that.
That's what was touching my heart. Like, as soon as one of the elders came up, there was a special entrance for the elders that they went straight in, that they didn't have to wait. And, I was just crying as I'm watching like grandchildren bring their grandparents in. They can barely walk. They're on the walker and they're moving. And, I get emotional and I'm thinking about my grandmother and I'm like, oh, this is so sweet. But I was so proud of my community. We had a organization, to your point, that was giving out croissants and water, and it was raining and cold and a line. And people were being just really just kind, like just showing. I know New York, we have a bad rap on misery, right? Like the misery meter in the country, New York is pretty high on misery. But there are moments like this where you're like, oh, the humanity and the kindness and the concern. And it was just really organized. Everyone went in. They made sure that we had the markers on the social distancing. Same thing with the pens. Once you take it, it's yours. You use it for everything. You don't touch anything else. And I know that there's more good in America than bad in America. And I refuse to believe the narratives of the negativity that's getting the airplay.
Yeah.
And I'm going to believe in the good of people to be able to vote their conscience. And like Serena said, vote for the truth. Vote for what is going to effectuate not only change for us here, but our generations, our children's children. What is this country going to look like? And we want to be a part of being on the right side of history that is helping to make this a fair and equitable experience for all of us. So, moral to the story, go vote.
Yeah. And all those people that are out helping and kind of just doing their part of handing out snacks, you don't even know what the people are voting, which way they're voting. That's not what it was about. It was really just taking care of people who are out exercising their right to vote, no matter who they were voting for. people were out helping them. And that's another thing, with so much tension around, politics, if you're one way or the other. And that was just a beautiful thing to see, people who were out just helping anybody who was exercising their right to vote and stand in line and get it done. So, shout out to all the fraternities, sororities. I know there were a couple of alumni associations, my beloved HU, my Zeta sorors. Everyone was out and about. So I just appreciate you all. And that's what it was about. It wasn't about who you were voting for. It was that you were voting. And I think that's the sentiment we want to share as well. Make sure you're exercising your right to vote.
Indeed. And not just voting, like voting for the right things that affect you. Even if you don't think it affects you, it affects someone. And the last thing I would want to say is, when this is all over, because I think we've all had a headache watching all of the debates and so on and so forth, I pray that then we can start voting for humanity and getting kindness back and love back and fellowship back. I mean, this has really been a challenging year and a challenging time for especially people to be at each other's necks. So my prayer is, after we vote and do what we're supposed to do, then we try to get back to what we had prior to, which was a sense of brotherhood and love about one another.
Absolutely. Well, that's why Positive Words Only is going to expand the campaign, because after this, we need positive words only. And we need the word out about.
Absolutely. And I appreciate the plug. I have not sent it to you all, but we have illustrations for it now. So I'm so excited of where this young man has taken the book. I'll make sure I send it to you when we're all said and done. But, just to see the creativity behind, looking at positive words and where it took his mind. And so I'm glad that you mentioned that, Stacie. I certainly appreciate it. So, even though during this voting cycle, this election cycle, we should always still be practicing positive words. But, I know it gets a little crunk. And people forget their morals and values. So we're going to try to bring it all the way back. So
you should just say crunk.
I said crunk. You mentioned HU. You got to stop giving me those things that take me back to college years. HU, I'm also HU. So, yeah, baby.
So clearly we're all in the 40 and over club, right? Because we understood that reference.
Indeed. Either crunk or live, whichever one you want to go with. Turn up is new, so that's a new one. But y'all understood crunk or live, whichever one.
Indeed. And laughter heals so much, it soothes so much. We have a lot of facial muscles that we exercise on this show one-ish every Monday, because if it's not fun, we're not doing it. We're busy, we're moms, we're wives, we're business owners, we're coaches, we're doing all these things. We have multiple verticals, but we set aside this time one-ish every Monday to help you on your journey. Like, we're in this together. Dream Do Done is about really highlighting the process to progress. A lot of people just want to see the shiny lights and cameras and posing for the camera, the duck lips and all of that. Hey, honey, there's a process to get there. And we want you to be able to be encouraged and have tangible resources and information that we share with you. So I'm going to let Tamara close us out on how you stay connected with us. I'm so excited about our Dream Do Done journal.
Oh, wait a minute. I have a copy of it. I'm going to disappear because this is worth it.
Yes. So while she goes to get that, we are excited that, all of you who pre-ordered the journal, you'll be receiving your journals in the mail. They are absolutely gorgeous. Look at them.
That is gorgeous.
Yes, they are. And I was like, when I saw the insides of them, like, look at this, y'all. This isn't no little inky dinky journal. Look at that.
This is real.
We are excited. So you can get yours at dreamdodone.com, and also make sure you stay tuned to all the good things that we have coming on. But these, they're in. I can do my little dance now.
Absolutely. No, show them again. I need us to take a screenshot with those journals. So, just go on to the site. And if you didn't pre-order them, you can make sure you order your journals. Oh, so excited. Yay. Awesome sauce. So that is what we'll be utilizing as a part of our accountability opportunity for you. It's we really put some serious thought into it. We didn't rush it to market. We wanted to make sure we were thoughtful. It was what we'll use because we use this information to help us stay on track and help you track your progress. That's the ultimate way that you are going to be able to achieve your goals and go from the dreaming to doing and then actually get it done. Look how it is so.
Look, and you got, and the thing that I really love about this is that you really get a piece of all three of us in here. All three of us are in here, from our thoughts, our stories, our nuggets. All of it is in here. I can't wait for you to get your hands on it.
Absolutely.
Well, I expect a visit sometime this week, Tamara. I mean, or else I'm going to have to come to you. COVID or not.
Yes, we're going to get together anyway because I got something for you. So after the show, we got to talk anyway. I got something I need your help with.
All right, fair enough.
You said you put mine in the mail.
I did say that, but guess what? After I went to vote, did that get me off?
All right, don't voting on me.
I will get yours. I will get yours expressed to you. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm excited about our journal. We're excited to serve you and be a part of your journey to what God has in store, because what's for you is for you. We just have to do our part and take action daily, and we'll see the results. So thank you for joining Dream Do Done. Stephen, Jason, Craig, Ladrine, all of you that are here. Wait, what she said? She said, what had happened was.
Thank you, Ladrine. You feel me. See, Ladrine has my back.
Patricia, thank you for tuning in. All of you that catch the replay, we appreciate you being here and just being a part of the community and the family that we've established as we transparently and honestly just show you that you have to start. When we started this, we didn't know what Dream Do Done was going to become, but we started. You know, and remember, it's 3 different personalities. Like, I'm like, jump. Like her daddy say, fly and grow my wings on the way down. Serena's like, wait. And Tamara's like, well, if we do this. But it all balances us out so that we keep moving forward. There's a process to the progress. And it's like giving birth to a baby. Every time you have a new project and you see it come to fruition, it's like, and so you pre-ordered, so we'll be busy getting all the pre-orders out, but go ahead and get your order in. This is a great gift for a business owner or entrepreneur in your life. Get them the Dream Do Done journal.
Look, 2021 is coming. Get your life right. Get your life right.
Oh my goodness. So we thank you all for tuning in, and by the grace of God, we'll be back next week with our country intact. Jesus, Father, Son, and Holy Ghost, for our next conversation with Dream Do Done. So stay tuned, everybody. Bye-bye.
Yeah.